What do liberals say? What do they do with you when they find out what you think? I can tell you what my mother does. She psychoanalyzes. She wants
No,
to
really.
know when she comes across, it's very rare when she comes across someone other than me whose politics aren't right. She wants to know what happened to you in your childhood to cause such a thing. Do they ever do
That's,
that to
yeah, they've done that. It's really
you?
creepy and invasive. Like, I can't say, putting myself out there, I can't say I don't ask for it, because the way that I psychoanalyze like women in generalizations, which, it's true. That's why I don't like it. But, like, I guess I deserve it for doing that. But most of the psychoanalysis isn't exactly accurate. It's just kind of like when Sons of the Lambs, when Lecter says you're just two generations away from poor white trash. It's just that kind of thing. Like, it's
Okay.
always very class based. It's about my appearance.
Oh
It's
wow.
or just yeah, 90%. That was the thing. Okay, speaking of my idols, one of my idols is Lena Dunham.
Yeah.
And uh when you do something like this, you really, until you experience it, don't expect 95% of the dialogue about your project to be about your appearance. Like,
Right.
unless you're like a child star, I guess, trained by the media to, to ignore it from an early age, it's quite shocking. And it requires like navigating, this whole like e-celebrity sort of disgusting thing.
Yeah.
Um,
Especially women. I mean, I've had, I've done like interviews with women for my show and for other outlets, and the YouTube comments when it's a
oh,
woman, especially if it's a woman who's not, conventionally beautiful or whatever. And
mhm.
I mean, it's really beyond. I mean, I've had it too. I mean,
Oh,
I've
I
had,
know. And the only solution is like not to talk about it. But I just like, I find it really hard to not talk about that when you're talking about the whole podcast, kind of like online cultural critic scene, because it's just a part of it. And I like made my image a part of my project in the way that like Lena Dunham did, in a kind of exhibitionist way. And people get more mad if you're just kind of like normal looking and mouthing off or doing something confidently than they do if you're like the elephant man. If you're like an obvious freak, they're not going to get mad. But if you're just kind of normal, then it's whoop,
oh,
vipers.
oh yeah. Well, because it's sort of like, wait a minute, you're supposed to be one of us. How can
Yeah.
it's like the enemy within,
Hmm.
it's like the virus that's infected us. So, yeah, I mean, well, okay. So then you tell us what did happen to you as a child, Jack, to produce these aberrant ideas.
It wasn't really as a child. I mean, as a teenager, I started to think that people were just, or started to gather that people were just generally very closed-minded and uncreative and conformist. But like, even like regular people were very open-minded and accepting in the 2000s. It was not just because I was a kid and I'm nostalgic, but like all of the big problems that they've drudged up again were pretty much solved. I didn't experience any um, substantial homophobia
Mhm.
ever. Everything like
Really?
bad in the way of like harassment or like meanness that I've ever experienced has been from liberals as an adult.
Huh.
But yeah, the big turn was not in childhood, though. Like, I followed the path that like most gay men follow, where you're like closer, you're sort of emerged from the female world, you're closer to your mother, more comfortable with women,
Hmm.
kind of understand them. Boys seem like a sort of exotic and boring, until you hit puberty and it reverses and you don't want to be around girls and you want the approval from men. And every single thing that I do is for approval from straight men. I'm a total pick me.
Oh yeah.
So that's what happened in childhood.